to go. 2 days later, Raga spotted Mahmoud spending time with his friends near a local hangout. Still filled with rage and humiliation, he decided to act. Alongside a couple of his close associates, he plotted an ambush. As Mahmoud and his friends laughed and chatted unaware, the attack began. One of Raga's friends grabbed Mahmoud from behind, while another sprayed pepper spray directly into the faces of Mahmoud's friends, blinding and disabling them. In the chaos, Raga charged at Mahmoud, punching and kicking him repeatedly with brutal force. Mahmoud, caught off guard and outnumbered, tried to defend himself, but he was overwhelmed. Then, in a moment of savage violence, Raga pulled out a pocket knife. He stabbed Mahmoud repeatedly, mercilessly, until the young man collapsed to the ground, covered in blood and struggling for breath. Without any remorse or hesitation, Raga and his crew fled the scene, leaving Mahmoud critically injured and unconscious. People from nearby stores and homes rushed out after hearing the commotion. Some immediately recognized Mahmoud and called for help. Others tried to stop the bleeding as best they could. They rushed him to the hospital. News quickly reached Mahmoud's father, who was at work when he received the call that no parent ever wants to hear. Without a word, he dropped everything and rushed to the hospital, his heart racing, his thoughts filled with fear. When he arrived, doctors were already working tirelessly to save his son's life, but despite their efforts, the wounds were too severe. A few hours later, the doctors delivered the heartbreaking news. Mahmoud had succumbed to his injuries. He was pronounced dead in the hospital that same evening. The death of Mahmoud, a young man remembered by his community as respectful, intelligent, and courageous, sent shockwaves through the neighborhood. He had stood up for what was right, and in doing so, paid the ultimate price. Word of the incident spread fast. CCTV footage from surrounding buildings began circulating online, clearly showing the brutal attack. People across the country were horrified by the senseless killing of a defenseless teenager. Hashtags demanding justice for Mahmoud trended on social media. Pressure on law enforcement mounted. The public outcry forced the authorities to act swiftly. The police treated the case as a top priority, launching an intensive manhunt for Raga and his accomplices. It didn't take long. Raga and his crew were caught and brought into custody. Following a thorough investigation and after reviewing the evidence, the suspects were charged with premeditated murder, a crime that usually carries the death penalty. However, since Raga and his accomplices were underage, the court sentenced them each to 15 years in prison, the maximum penalty allowed under juvenile criminal law. The sentencing did little to ease the sorrow that had gripped the community. At Mahmoud's funeral, hundreds gathered to pay their respects. People from every corner of the country came, many of whom had never met Mahmoud, but were touched by his courage and deeply saddened by his unjust death. His family stood beside his grave, broken but proud of the son they had raised.